What's going on YouTube? Trucking Life here. One more time, guys. I asked you guys for some requests, and you guys have definitely left some requests for videos, guys. And this video right here is gonna be I'm gonna try to break this down the best as possible without going all over the place. I wanna put a disclaimer out there, guys, for this video right here, that I don't have my authority, and no, I don't have my own SCAC code, but I do have 1 degree of separation. That means it's not me, it's somebody as I know. A buddy of mine I know, he don't want to be on camera, but he gave me all the info to give you guys about how to get your SCAC code and also how to register your company with the rail yards, guys. If you want to go this way, I'm finna put it on the board, put it on the map. All right, guys. So now the first thing you want to do, guys, when you get your before you even get your SCAC code, guys, you want to make sure you got your authority. When you got your authority, now I actually called to talk to him myself to make sure to verify. Well, to verify what was said and what's on this video, and actually said it don't matter how long you had your authority. Only thing this company really care about is if your motor carrier is actually active. That means your number's not suspended. You in good standings. Your stuff is legit, pretty much. So as far as like having your authority for a certain period of time, you don't have to hide that. But now you want to deal with certain brokers, now that's a different story. But as far as like this go right here, you don't have to have that. So the first thing, guys, you need to have is your own authority out established. Your own authority, own company name. That means you got your articles of organization, your tax ID number, your company name, plus your authority, your DOT number, your MC number, and all that stuff, guys. Once you got all that stuff established, now you go to this next step. The next step is you'll contact this company called UIIA. Uniform Intermodal Interchange and Facilities Access Agreement. Now all the extra stuff I don't know what's on there, but it's called UIIA. So pretty much UIIA are the gatekeepers between the motor carrier and the rail yards. They're like the broker. You can't get registered with the rail yards without going through them. Now when you register your company, your numbers, your own authority with these guys, what they're gonna do is they're gonna verify that your authority is like active and you are legit, you are good to go, whatever the case may be. You know, your company legit and it's good to go, not suspended or nothing, or running bogus or nothing like that. They're gonna run your numbers. So once you get approved with that, guys, the next step is you'll call a number, which I'm gonna put on the screen right here. For those who want to get their own SCAC code, get their own access to the rail yards with your own company, this is how you do it. Now my buddy do it. I got a couple buddies doing it actually, but I just choose not to do it. But he sat down with me and he gave me the game, guys, and I'm giving it to you. So this is what you do. So once you register, once you call this number right here, it's gonna be on the board, guys. Call this number, ask them certain questions. They better answer the questions that I'm talking about right now. And then you have to download it. They got an application package where you'll be able to download it. I'll put the website on the screen, guys. That way you can just go to the website. I'm not sponsored by these guys, nothing like that. Ain't nothing like this, guys. I'm just showing you. If you want to do this, this is how you do it. So you go to the UIIA website, you fill out the forms, and then once you fill out the form, you got steam lines, different steam lines like Merce, Hapag, Hamburg, APL, which a lot of them the same ones over and over again. You got Evergreen, Costco, you know, all these different steam lines, guys. Now, what I've also heard is once you fill out the packet, you don't have to run with all these steam lines. What you can do is pick one that works for you, because the steam lines, they have different requirements. So if some steam lines might require you to have 0 deductible on your insurance, that means your insurance rate will be higher, but you may not be able to use them all the time. So you got to figure out if it's worth me even carrying these guys at the steam line I'm running for, or pick some other ones. Probably out of 20 or 30 steam lines, you pick the ones that work for you. It'll explain, guys, step by step. I went on it myself to verify this myself. I call UIIA myself, I talk to them myself, I ask them questions all about the type of stuff myself, and they verified it, guys. So yes, it's legit. So you call that number, go on the website, fill out the packet, whatever required steam line you want to go with, you do that. Once you get approved, I think it takes like anywhere between, it depends on you. How fast you fill it out, how fast you get them their documents, how fast you meet the requirements, how fast you get all stuff submitted. Once you get all stuff submitted, I've heard it take anywhere between a week to 15 days to get actually approved. You'll get a letter via email and probably a physical letter in the mail saying you approved with your SCAC code. And all the SCAC code is telling the rail yard that, hey, your company, let's say your company called Slime. Your SCAC code may be Slime abbreviated, so maybe SLMM. they would abbreviate your company. That's what a SCAC code is, the abbreviation of your company. So every time your company come into the rail yard, it tells the rail that, hey, slammers or slimies or slamicators is entering the yard. So your company is coming into the yard. Once you do that, guys, once you get your approval letter of being approved to be authorized carrier with a SCAC code with UIIA, what you do is now then you go on UIIA website and they'll give you a list of rail yard carriers in the region of where you at. So the rail yards is like the UPs, the NS's, all the yards, guys, that the big boys. They'll give you the list of them, and on that list, they'll give you a contact person of the list. Say you want to, because after you get your SCAC code, you got to contact the rail yourself because you are the carrier now. You contact the rail yourself and say, hey, I want to register my company with this rail, with your rail yard, and you got to fill out another packet right there. You got to give them the letter of proof to show that you are authorized. You got your SCAC code. You register with the UIIA. You're authorized to pull freight out of the rail yard. So the rail yard. So now some rail yards may vary. Now you may wanna confirm with each individual rail yard that you talk to about how they process work as far as registering, because each rail yard got their own set of requirements. Now you already had the requirements of the steam lines. Now you got the requirements of certain rails. So they want to make sure your company been in business for, I don't know if there's a time limit on that, but they want to have proof that your company is legit, even though you already registered with the UIIA. But like I say, to play it safe, each rail yard you contact, make sure you ask them what's their requirement. They're gonna tell you anyway. You register your company with that rail yard. Now imagine, once you create your UIIA account, you'll be able to go on there, let's say you hire a driver, and you want a driver to be able access to the rail yards under your SCAC code. You go on the website, you go on your account, your portal, and then you add that driver onto the portal, onto the account. Now once you add the driver onto the account, that driver still, once you go to the rail yard, you still have to physically go inside the rail yard, fingerprint, driver's license, and register. You have to use them to register. So just because the company registered, imagine once the company registered with certain rail yards, some rail yard terminals require the company to register physically at that terminal. So whatever the requirement is, guys, you got to find out what it is. You got to find out what it is, and you got to make sure that you meet the requirements to be able to run at certain rail yards, guys. Now that's how you get your SCAC code, and that's how you contact the rails. Now mind you, I was also informed that some rail yards, the contact person on the website may be hard to reach. They may not email right away. They may be a little, let's say a little dragon knuckle-ish. So what you could do is you could Google customer service of certain rail yards, go in through the customer service side and ask for a point of contact to register your company, your SCAC code, to be able to authorize to be able to run inside their rail yards. And mind you, guys, when this is all on you, this is all on you. You the motor carrier, so all this is on you, guys. All of this. And it's so much information I got, I can't put it all in this one video. But that's basically how you get your SCAC code. And that's how once you get your SCAC code, that's how you register with the rail yards. Now, as far as like the brokers go for the work, I was informed that the brokers will reach out to you, but you could Google Intermodal brokers or Intermodal brokers. You can just find them. It ain't hard to find them. They got regular brokers. So I'm gonna throw a little bonus on this video, guys. Without going into too details, it's a lot of information, guys. I got notes and notes and notes of this stuff, but I ain't gonna be able to say it all on here because it's just so much. But that right there is basically the basics of how you get your SCAC code. Register your SCAC code with rail yards to be able to run out of rail yards. Now here's the bonus on this, guys. When you run out of rail yards, guys, let's say a broker call you. They say Slime Logistics. They call you. Hey, we got these loads right here. We need moved. It's all intermodal work. Just like a regular broker outside the rail yard, you deal with the same type of brokers that's dealing with intermodal. They want to move that load for cheap as possible, and with you being a carrier, you gotta make sure you move it at a market fair price. So that means you're not getting screwed, and they're not getting screwed. You gotta move for a fair price. Because if you don't know rail yards too good, guys, before you do this, get somebody who knows rail yards real good, know the possible problems you can have in a rail yard, because when you booking your load with this broker, they don't care about how you get it done. They want to make sure that they book that load with you if y'all come to an agreement, and it's up to you to move that load. Now mind you, when you're dealing with 40s and 20s, you're required to find your own chassis. That's when you got to go to Easy Booking. Easy Booking is a site online where you can find a chassis. You can book you a chassis in case there's no chassis available. Just Google it. Google easy booking for chassis. So once you do that, guys, then what you're gonna do is if you book your chassis from easy booking, that means you'll hold the chassis when you get to the rail yard. When you get in the rail yard and you get that chassis out, or the more like not rail yard, but like a little storage depot where they can store boxes and they store chassis. More than likely you'll go up in there and get one of your chassis. But here's the thing with that: when you book a chassis, they charge you per day that your chassis is out because you booked it. Versus if you go in the rail yard and you go for the gusto, you go in there and take a chance trying to find a chassis like I do every day. Then you get charged for that because it's a chassis pool out of a rail yard. I know it's a lot of them dropping, guys, but hey man, you guys asked for it, I'm giving it to you. So if you book your chassis, you'll get charged per day, but I guarantee you have a chassis to move that load though. If not, you have to go in there and try to find a chassis and you're on your own. So you imagine when you book that load, it's on you to move it, guys. It's on you to move it. Just like if you book a load outside the rail yard to move a load somewhere else, it's on you to get your truck ready, to get the drivers ready to move that load. Same thing with the rail yard stuff. The only difference is you got more moving parts in this rail business. And with the more moving parts, you wanna make sure you're able to get out there, get your money, and get it done, and probably do 2 or 3 of them if you could, or do at least 2 of them. If not, make sure that one count. Either way it go, you gotta know what you're doing. So when you booking your load, you gotta put your accessorial charges on there, just in case what may happen. Like you may have to do a chassis split, you gotta charge for that. Any delays in the rail yard you may have, or possible problems you may have, now you wanna get over the top with the charges because you know they will go with somebody with a cheaper rate than you, but you also make sure you don't get screwed because a lot of moving parts with this rail, guys. You mess around in here, you know what you're doing, you'll be out here all day and made like peanuts as if you wasn't your own motor carrier. So you don't want that problem, guys. So what I'm saying is, if you don't know what you're doing with this, find somebody who knows rail yards real good and ask them all possible problems you can have, because chassis splits is when your box go one way and your chassis goes somewhere else. So also too, another bonus on this video, guys, is that you want to make sure that if you ever go this route of getting your own SCAC code, getting your own registration with the rail yard, and getting your own carrier to be authorized to be running inside the rail yard, make sure you have a secure drop yard to drop some trailers, because I'm telling you, when you're gonna have problems with billing, somebody go drop the ball somewhere, because when you're the carrier, you're required to have billing. You gotta call Headpad, you gotta email them, you gotta call MERS, you gotta email them. Unless you got auto billing. If you got auto billing on a certain box or load or empty, then you ain't gotta worry about it. But most of the time you gotta call in manually and bill them loads. And you gotta find out where the empties, especially the empties, guys. The empties change on a day-to-day basis, man. So if you ever wanna go this route, keep this in mind too. When you somewhere getting loaded, unloaded, or doing a drop a hook somewhere, whatever it is you're doing, when you there, make sure you call in for billing early. That way by the time you get to the rail, it's a good chance the box will be billed if it's not auto billed. If you don't, this is where that drop yard come in place, because you might have a case where your billing didn't go through. Guess who's responsible for the box? Now, if you own and operate, at least onto a company, and we no billing, you already know what we're doing. We're going straight to a drop yard. If there's one available, oh, it's your baby now. I did my part, you know what I'm saying? But when it's your company, you're required to hold on to that trailer, that load, empty, whatever the case may be. You're responsible for securing it. You're responsible for having it in a secure place. You can't just drop it and go about your business, because mind you, don't have that load or the empty on the easy booking chassis. Because every day that chassis is out, now you getting charged for that. You see? So you gotta factor that in too when you're about to do load. You gotta factor in layover in case you gotta hold the box overnight. When you factor in your billing for the broker, you wanna make sure you put all this stuff in perspective, because it could happen, especially with this rail stuff. Anything can happen. Or somebody supposed to put your billing in. Right after they got the phone with you, their husband or wife called, and they arguing. They forgot all about your billing. So now by the time you get to the rail yard, you're like, man, what's up with the billing? And guess what? It might be after hours. They gone home for the day. Now you stuck with that box overnight. You see? So all this is part of having your own SCAC, having your own authorization running inside these rail yards, guys. There's a whole lot more I can put in this video, but this will get you started. Whoever out there wants this information, it's yours to have. I have the information, guys. I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to do this route. I don't want to go this route. Not right now, at least. Maybe my mind may change later on. But right now, I don't want it. But either way it go, that's pretty much how you do it, guys. So, all right, YouTube. Hope this video was helpful. Give you an understanding of what's going around here. And I'll see you guys in this video. Peace.